And Autumn, you can click on admit all and let everybody in. There you go.
Folks, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes, but as you can see on the screen, we invite you to just introduce yourself in the chat and let us know what the last thing that made you smile was. All right, everybody, so it's 7:05. We're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation. Thank you all. I'm so excited to see all of your faces and to welcome you to our introduction to restorative practice in the Burlington School District tonight. My name is Virginia Litchfield, and I am the Restorative City and Restorative Practice Integration Intern. And my internship is shared between the Burlington School District and the Burlington Community Justice Center. So first of all, we just want to say welcome. Tonight is going to be a little different than your typical webinar. We are not going to spend the entire hour presenting to you. Instead, what we've decided to do is do a small introduction presentation, and then we're actually going to break out into small groups where you all will get to actually experience circle practice. In those small groups, you're going to run through a student-led, student-facilitated circle. And what that means is we are going to ask you some questions, and everyone in the small group is going to have a chance to answer those questions. so that you can actually experience what our students and faculty are doing regularly in the Burlington School District. So with that being said, we are going to do some introductions. I've already introduced myself, and we're going to run through our facilitators as right in a row. And Josh, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Meyer. I'm the Restorative Practices Positive Behavior Intervention Support Coordinator for the District of Burlington, and I use he, him pronouns.
Autumn, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I am Autumn Bangura. I am Burlington School District Equity Instructional Leader. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm really excited about these equity webinars, and I'm excited to see your faces here. Thank you so much for coming. Sparks, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sparks. I am the Director of Equity and Safe Inclusive Schools for the Burlington School District, and I'm excited to see all the faces and be here tonight. Thank you.
Zaylee, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Zaylee. I'm one of the student facilitators. I'm a first year student at UVM. I use she, her pronouns.
Karen, would you also like to introduce yourself?
I'm Kieran Blakeney. I'm a junior at Burlington High School, and I'm a student facilitator tonight. I use he, him pronouns.
Lila, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Lila, and I'm a senior at Burlington High School, and I'm one of the student facilitators tonight in she, her pronouns.
Galen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Galen. I'm a freshman at the University of Denver right now, but I graduated from BHS last year. I'm also a student facilitator, and I use she, her pronouns.
Sophia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm also a student facilitator, and I use she, her pronouns.
Parker, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, how we doing? I'm Parker Ballard. I'm a senior at Burlington High School, and I use he, him pronouns. Excited for the night.
And I've lost one of our students that I need to introduce off my screen.
Is it Alicia?
Yeah, Alicia, are you here? No, I just can't see you on my screen.
Yeah, so my name is Alicia. I am also one of the student facilitators tonight. I am a VHS senior, and I use she or they pronouns.
Thank you, Alicia. I'm sorry about that. For some reason, you got shuffled on my screen and disappeared on me. So thank you all for introducing yourselves. I am going to hand it over to our equity office staff, I think to Mr. Sparks, to give us a brief introduction to restorative practice in the Burlington School District.
Just Sparks, not Mr. So as we think about restorative practices in the school district, we've been doing this work for about 7 years now. And one of the things that we really wanted to accomplish as we think about restorative practices in the district was to get rid of punitive practices and the way we look at student discipline. So about 7 years ago, I was tasked with looking at other avenues and other ways that our school district could look at student behavior, student discipline in a more restorative manner. And at that time, I started consulting with Lisa Bettinger and some of our other consultants and folks that were doing restorative practices in the district. And one of the things I really wanted to accomplish was for Burlington School District to get rid of punitive measures and kicking BIPOC students out and any other students. So as we think about the work and fast forward to where we are now, we are in a place where we have restorative practices teams in all of our schools, and we are having webinars and meetings like this where we are really trying to incorporate student voice, but not only student voice also bringing in the community to our work. One of the things that I've always believed is that a school should not be in the business of punishing students and kicking kids out. We should be in the business of teaching, educating, informing, and holding students responsible and accountable for behavior as we hold ourselves as adults accountable for inappropriate or let's just say inappropriate behavior. As the district moves forward with restorative practices, one of the things we really want to try to work more diligently at is incorporating student voice. But as we think about what that means, it is not just student voice, it is also active participation and involvement of students, not only in webinars, but also in the decision-making that we as adults tend to make for students. As we look forward to working with students in our district, one of the things I really want to see us do is finding more ways and opportunities of including students in the decision-making processes and also holding us as adults responsible for some of the things that we do. And again, I would like to thank the organizers of this and welcome everybody to this evening's webinar.
Thank you, Sparks. So the next thing we're going to do is just go over the goals of restorative practice in Burlington. We've boiled it down to 3 goals of restorative practice. And the first one is to build just and equitable learning spaces. So how are we putting practices into place to make sure that we're increasing safety and belonging for all of our students, in particularly our BIPOC students or students who belong to marginalized identities. The second thing that we're trying to do is nurture relationships. So how can we put relationships at the center of absolutely everything we do? And every time we come up with a solution, how can we make sure that we're nurturing relationships in that solution? And the third thing that we want to do is we want to repair harm and transform conflict. So when conflict comes up, how can we use that as a learning opportunity? And again, returning to how can we use that to nurture relationships and really honor our relationships as we repair harm and transform that conflict. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to watch a video that was put together with our partners at the Oscar office, the Office of Student and Community Relations at the University of Vermont. And John Mia put this together for us. He did some research with some UVM students at Edmonds Elementary around the impact that circles have had in their classroom. And so we found this particularly relevant for tonight because we're going to use a circle practice. And what you're about to see is a collection of interviews from students in Megan Fitzpatrick's class. And so we'll have Josh bring up that video for us so we can watch it. It's about 5 minutes long. And then after that, we're going to go into our breakout groups. And that's the piece where we will ask you to participate tonight.
Since we got used to it and she writes what we're going to do on the board and it has us time to think, we have this talking piece from a, well, we have different talking pieces. And if we're done, we just pass it to the next person. They make me be more kind.
And how's that change the environment?
People are more happy when more people are kind. I like this classroom better than the last classroom because in our last classroom we didn't do circles, and I wasn't as calm. I learned that I could actually speak really loud, and it makes me feel more confident. And for others, probably I've learned more about others, like where they're from and stuff like that. In the classroom, it feels like at Circle, feels like that people can like cheer you up when you're like sad, but outside of Circle, it doesn't really like somewhere else rather than our classroom, it doesn't really feel like that. I feel like if we didn't have circles, we would feel a little bit more self-conscious of ourselves. The circles help us and me and my classmates be more calm around each other. I think maybe because last year we didn't do circles and it just was kind of jumbled up, and without circles it was kind of hard not to like, and then people didn't know what you were feeling inside, so people wouldn't like give you space and stuff. And I think this year that's changed and a lot of people understand what you're feeling, and I think it really helps. In circle, we listen from our heart, and it gives us a chance to like listen to other people. Also, if they have a bad day, we can help them have a better day. Because I feel safe to like share stuff with other people that are in my class. Being calm sort of helps me to like focus on my work. And it's funny.
Why is it funny?
Because we actually get to know each other. In my other class, I only had 10 friends. In this class, I have 20 because we have 20 kids in our class.
So day-to-day impact of using restorative practices, there's a few things. Personally, as a teacher, it's like my job has just gotten easier. I don't have, I think I've always worked really hard to build relationships with my students, but that puts a lot of pressure on me as the person who has all of those relationships. The shift is that the group, the kids now have developed, relationships, trusting relationships with one another in addition to with me. So it really is almost like a shared responsibility. So I don't have this kind of overwhelming job of sort of taking care of everybody. We all now can take care of each other. And so personally, as the adult in the room, that really does make my life a lot easier. And, for them, like we don't really have behavior issues. We don't have timeouts really. I don't send anybody out of the room. I mean, it really has dramatically changed kids' behavior. And I know that that seems kind of far-fetched, but it just, that is how it has gone down. So it's in my almost 20-year career, it's by far the biggest and has had the greatest impact on both learning and on the behavior. So.
So we are at the point where we're ready to go into our smaller breakout groups. So it's going to take Josh a second to work out the tech on the back end, but he's going to put each of us into small groups. I think there'll be groups of 4 or 5 people if the tech works out right and nobody drops off in the middle. So just bear with us for a second while we do that. And a special thanks to John from UVM and all of the people who put that video together. They did a really lovely job, and to Megan Fitzpatrick's class for allowing them in to do those interviews, because it's pretty powerful, as you can see. And Josh, just let us know when you're ready. This is always the most awkward part of any Zoom. It's waiting for the breakout rooms.
But we can jump in and say congratulations to Parker on getting into college.
Congratulations, Parker. Where are you going to school?
So today I got into UVM and the University of Indiana. Pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
It's always so good to have choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're both like 2 like wildly different schools and different cultures and stuff like that. So I got choices. So see what happens.
Yeah. Parker, are you waiting for other school choices as well?
Yeah, so a couple days ago I got into the University of Toronto as well. And then I also applied to Wisconsin, and I have a couple more that I'm working on right now, and then see what happens, you know.
It's exciting times.
It is.
It looks like Josh might be ready for us now.
Perfect.
Just a quick tech note, you will get a little invite to your room, so you'll want to join the room that Josh is assigned as all to.
See you all back for question and answers at about 10 minutes off.